Welcome to our Power Thinking, amazing, amazing mind training for Wednesday, 11th. We are moving through this year so fast. 2026, 30 p.m. Eastern Time edition. I'm your moderator, Stanley Green. It's always it's always exciting as well to be with you the middle of the week, so that if you need that rejuvenation here at Power Thinking, no matter how day is going today or how the week is going, the goal is to help you, to stay resilient, to you moving through and accomplishing your goals, because no one. So we need to take advantage, as you are doing, take advantage of minutes that we have each week. Only about 14,000 that we in the course of the week, actually much more than that. But I'm happy that you're investing the 30 minutes with us each and every week, and some of you 60 minutes because you're in the evening. So if you want to certainly reach out to some folks and invite and be seen on Instagram, as I'm watching, I'm seeing it now screen, and we're live on Instagram. We're thinking we are certainly right here on our phone lines. You can send the phone number to someone that you know, or have them join us. We are on a platform called Twitch. Corp. We're under Facebook under Stanley H. Green, under LinkedIn under Stanley Green, and we are on X, Power Thinking Corp. So happy that you have joined us this evening. Feel free to go on to LinkedIn under Stanley Green, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about our focus for today. So our objective each week, as we're sending you notifications on your phone. We have real estate now on your phones, and we just recently joined us from Francine Hampton, who actually just joined the call this morning and just signed up for the Power Thinking Corp app. Arlovine Payet, France, Mary Robert, Eric Olson, Christina Stilley, Ken Lloyd, Pamela Gardner, Devon Hall, Michelle Martin, Sanjay Kumar, Gladys Bryce, Paul Wright, who just joined us this morning, most of others. So feel free to others to the link. We've changed our pricing structure dramatically. If you've downloaded the link before but just didn't complete the process, please do. You'll get a pleasant surprise. That $19.99 per month is now $9.99. It's available on Google and Apple. Apple just approved the changes yesterday, so that's available. If you're already on the app and you're paying, to be dramatically reduced to $9.99. Also, you will have an option, which is unbelievable. Just $59.99 for the year. You will have the Power Thinking app. You'll get those notifications that reinforce the training that we do once a week, and you will get some financial tips as we move along from time to time. You'll have access to Thinking Corp assessment. A couple of things we're eliminating will be the ChatGPT, and we're not getting enough usage, and we're paying much more than we need to pay for the chat function. So we'll eliminate that, and we can now bring the price down for you. You'll also be able to refer. If the person signs up for the $60 roughly annual, you get that. So we're doing one-time payouts for this, but you still get paid. Just a little bit of information, updates on where we are. really excited. There's some collaborations that we're making that are perfect fits for us. Made a presentation in January to a friend who I met way 20 years ago, and uh, and just sold her company, which includes CBS, Paramount Plus, and many other assets to a company called Skydance. You probably heard a lot of controversy about that. Stephen Colbert show being canceled, so forth. But the person that headed all of that up, known her for, we did a catch up back in January, and, and shared with her the presentation, put it in our notifications, a link where I've condensed, a 1 hour presentation, just 15 numbers. You'll be able to see that. I've made that presentation to the folks out in Tokyo and out in China. And she sent it back just 6 minutes after we were done, saying that she said, OMD, I totally love this. Went on. And so that was someone stature who's been around, and who's dad at a major company, Viacom, and owned CBS and Paramount and all of that, to say, hey, really believe in her chief of staff is actually on the app. So appreciate that feedback. That was just more inspiration. Melanie Richards, hey Melanie, on LinkedIn, thank you for. I see Lark as well. Lark, Ambria, haven't seen you in a while. I think you're in the Caribbean, if I remember correctly, and thank you. So we really appreciate it. So our goal is to help you to retrain your brain. And if we can get people like yourself, I believe that we need to move the needle in this world. We don't have to be saying, well, wish our leaders would have better emotion regulation and impulse control, and optimism, our world leaders, so that people wouldn't a full life and move forward. What we're teaching, all that. So I see this as more than just weekly training, the use of an app, more than just a mission. It's a movement. It's a movement to spread positivity, not by just saying we want folks to be positive, but by giving them the skills that can keep them positive. As we help you retrain your brain, that was on tonight is power thinking resilience skill number 2. Remember, there's 7 skills of resilience, and we're going to focus on skill number 2, which is avoiding thinking traps. And there are 8 different thinking traps. The thinking trap we're focused on this is tunnel vision. The tunnel vision thinking trap. So what is it? We have it on the screen. It is a closed way of thinking, especially things such as religion. Think about it, religion, and think of how closed people are as it relates to religion, as it relates to politics. In fact, there are missiles being fired and things being blown up in different countries, people actually die in children as because of this tunnel vision around politics, around religion. But this is all change. Just that disputes will end at some point. We don't know when they will. The goal is, how can we avoid getting into these conflicts in the first, and tunnel vision plays a big part of that. So the person with tunnel vision is one who has firmly fixed ideas. In fact, people can actually get very emotional about safeguarding these ideas. The opposite of tunnel vision is being open-minded, is open-mindedness. So a person with tunnel vision has added, and they seem to say, look, I've already made up my mind. There's no, you're not going to change my mind. This is who I am. This is where I am. Don't confuse facts. This is where I am, and I'm staying in this position. And unfortunately, as a result of technology that we have with these various platforms, their goal is to keep, certainly build a relationship with you and keep you on their platform. Their job is to find out what you like, and feed you more of it because, you're going to stay on. Lisa Frederick, good to see you, and thank you for inviting me on your program where we talked about resilience, especially as it relates to, and we had a great discussion there. So we really appreciate you, and thank you for being part. So what I'd like to do is ask you. We sent 4 ways to improve your judgment, and in parentheses, bias and tunnel vision trap. So this is all about the tunnel vision thinking trap. Thoughts about that video. So if you're on the phone lines, hit star. See Carla there, and Carla will get to you in a minute. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Anyone else, feel free to hit that *6. Did you get a chance to watch the video? We shared that video with you in the past for those, for now going on 8 years, if you can believe that. 6, 7, 8. Yep, 2018. It'll be 8 years later this year. But we reinforce the same things because they are so essential. About the 4-minute video on thinking traps, what points kind of resonated with you? And the question is, have you thinking trap? Have you been closed-minded about something where even if someone had great facts based on research, you were stuck and you had to find a way to get unstuck? And if you were able to do that, let us know. I definitely experienced that tunnel vision thinking trap, and I found a way to get unstuck. And Andy, thanks for joining us. It's funny how people use religion to justify closed-mindedness. My religion is the religion, and your religion, that person, of course, says, no, mine is, the words is false. And then guess what? They start fighting. Both religions, you really get down to the root of it, is supposed to be about peace and love and brother and sisterhood. And yet folks are ready to kill each other. So it is absolutely amazing. So I'll go through those 7 inner strengths and the 7 skills again, but we'll just take some of your comments. We had Andy's comment, and then I'll read go to Carla Hill, who's on our phone lines. Pleasure in having you on LinkedIn Live this week. Amazing conversation. Yes, I really appreciate it. It was very helpful to me because we're reinforcing what is empathy versus sympathy. And those of you who've had that discussion, and every time we talk about it, and that's the beauty of what we do here, every time we talk about it, it actually is training, the learnings, so that when we're hit with an adversity, we can handle it in real time. Thanks for that comment, Lisa. Let's go to the phone and let's go to Carla Hill. Carla, thank you for joining us. Mention where you're from and your thoughts about tunnel vision.
Yes, hi, Stanley. Calling from Philadelphia. Love the video and your guest. I believe his name was
Paul.
Newest member, Paul.
Yep.
And so I took him up on his offer. One of the things, and it's presented in the video. One, avoid making decisions when you're upset. And one of the programs I belong to talks about the acronym HALT. You don't make decisions when you're hungry, for angry, complete or tired, things are not going to go well.
Right.
So
Yes, great.
really identify those feelings first. Decisions. I remember Colin Powell would say the decision he would sleep on. Right, just what kind of the process. And talking about number two, consider all possible solutions, almost like a root cause analysis. And that's one of the things that I'm thinking that framework talks about. I remember the 5 or 6 questions that you should ask, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like analyzing something. And then thinking about all, seeking the opposite of what you believe intentionally, and how we can use AI to do that. And I that on this, I'm like, tell me, what did I ask my AI to? I have different tools. And what I asked I leverage tunnel vision as opposed, and it said, while tunnel vision is usually a critique of lack of peripheral awareness, in the world of high performance, it is often rebranded as the focus. So, in terms of, because a lot of times there's so many distractions. So I open up the program by saying we need to retrain our brain. We need to realize when we're doing. And I remember I had a mentor in the city that would say, Carly, you got to be in the meeting and observing the meeting at the same time. You have to look at really what's going on, but there's sometimes you're going to have to be that specialist also. So has an intended use and a time and a place for the use. But if we're not thinking about that, we do tend to default to without, if there's nothing to say, it will be the same algorithm. Do we wonder why we get the same messages on Facebook and look at what we look at, and then they give us more of it? So you'll never get the other side of it. And I remember Nina, who is a city council person in the city of Philadelphia, and she talked, and it just, that image, and she said, unique diversity of cells, having the same cells that are mating together, you get deformities.
Yeah.
And decisions when we're not intentional. And I think about my training as an HR professional, HR executive over the years, is, and in government, there is intentional accountability and layers. I mean, in entrepreneur land, that could be very frustrating when you are servicing residents. You want to be clear and intentional on that different points of view at it. It slows it down, but it's usually, you have to understand what the issues are. So this was very good. I laid out in 4 minutes. It's a whole lesson.
Yes.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, Carla. Really appreciate your insights as always, and for your consistency. Folks, Carla has been with us since we started, maybe just a couple of weeks after we opened this up to the public, 18, and it's been on mornings and evenings, offering perspective after, hearing the mornings and participating, and then picking up, what we in real life and everyday life, what we talk about in the evening. So we appreciate you. And anyone else, hit that *6. Love to get your thoughts. Folks who are on LinkedIn as well. I see Greg Jones is up, and let's go to Greg. Greg, joining us, mention where you're joining us from. But before you do that, got another member, Harold Chris, about you. And this is what I love about power thinking in this community, because folks will, they'll get introduced to other, and they'll connect. Everyone's doing something with helping other people. And, many of you have help other members as you're helping members of the community and in other parts of the world, especially LinkedIn. So I'm really honored to have this forum where I can interact with you, who are in turn, uplifting the people. So Greg, go right ahead.
Yeah, thank you, and good evening, Power Thinking family. How just text he and I have this experience, this 8-year or 9-year experience. I wasn't on at the beginning, but I got connected through another colleague, and friend, and brother of mine, the former president of the Winston-Salem.
Yes.
This is what it's all about: the network, connecting with like-minded individuals who can help you develop and grow. I did not see the video. I'm sorry, I'm Queens, New York. I didn't see the video, but it's when you mention the subject of tunnel vision, it is a video that I would suggest that the listener, Kobe Bryant video, and it's called "Of a Winner." The mindset of a winner. It's about 11 to 12 minutes long. A great self-development piece. Players of all time, Kobe Bryant. Mindset of a winner. Take a listen to that video. But what I wanted to share is, in addition to the video, was one of my business mentors said a long ago. He said, "Will lead to your economic destruction." And there are instances and times in your experience you need where it's essential that you become completely focused. Maybe it's taking an exam or test, or maybe it's writing a paper, or maybe it's when you're driving, and you have to develop the mindset and the skill set to stay completely focused on what is before you, so that you could be successful. So, because tunnel vision at times what's necessary. If you play sports and stand under, you have played sports and you're on the free throw line, you need to make these 2 free throws, and you have thousands of people yelling down, for you not to make it. You have tunnel vision. You got to be focused. You got to keep your eye, on the front of that rim, over the front of the rim, and make those 2 free throws. Get your team over the hump. So there's so many distractions right now, especially with young people. The distractions that they're dealing with is just at such an early age, almost. It's mind-boggling. Them and encouraging them and trying to build up their discipline muscle, so that as they get older, as they move through middle school, they move to high school, if they go away to college, that they can get discipline is enough so that they can become successful. And as my friend and brother Calvin Patterson would say,
Great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And thank you for all the work you do, especially with our young people, is so critical, especially given where we are with the various social media platforms. So it is absolutely the other side of tunnel vision as a positive, some would say, and that is that you don't, like my entrepreneur friend who I worked for, $500 million, Jerry Lenfest, but he would say, if someone is just kind of moving all over the place, that they're like a one-eyed cat in a fish factory, about that. And I can recall, I think we wouldn't be here. In some ways, the tunnel vision of staying focused on the one thing, keeping that main thing the main thing, was very helpful in getting where we are today. On the other hand, I had to be open in how I would get there. So on the one hand, I made a decision that this was going to be the only thing I focused on. It wasn't going to be, I'm doing properties and, I'm, running other businesses and other startups, single focus on. However, I needed to avoid the think tunnel vision when it came to how I would move the company forward. Because for what I inherited when the company called Reflective Learning and their assets were two, among other things, domain names and so forth, the courses. One called Resilience Online for a 6-hour online course for adults, and another was R for Power, which was a 5-hour course or so for the company was selling the one for adults to companies for their employees and the one for teens to school districts. And I proceeded, once we bought the company, and I thought, well, I can do a better job. I'm going to, try to sell this product as well. And I went for 6 years, um, you know, trying to sell something that actually, and then the other companies shutting down. Before we started, the pivot came with what we are doing right now. These, as opposed to one course for 6 hours and expecting them to be more resilient, the goal was to just reinforce every week the same information so that it can become ingrained in who they are and how they respond to life's adversities. So we certainly were tunnel vision in that we were, going to make this, but how we we were going to change. And we ultimately, in my view, right now, we have the ultimate in making this happen through the Power Thinking Corp mobile app, where we've reduced the price 50%, and we've tremendously, we actually created an annual that's significantly low, $60 done for the year. And each day we're planning those positives through an app, not a 6-hour. So part of what we were able to make this happen was embrace AI and go through some competitive analysis with a couple of other apps and so forth. I wouldn't have been able to do it myself. Things that you were doing in terms of how you interacted with the app, where we needed to be. Tunnel vision can be great, in terms of that focus, but we have, like the folks who are, tunnel vision on religion, they're not going to move in certain areas, be open so that we can pivot. In many cases, it's about, how we pivot when we get stuck and when we may face adversity. So remember those 7 inner strengths of tunnel vision, as we are avoiding making decisions, said, and angry and tired and lonely, so to speak. Consider all alternatives early. Take the opposite view and then surround yourself with opposite view. And you may find that, some of the things that are mentioned make sense. And record those past judgments and continuously, look to alter. So what are those 7 inner strengths that tunnel vision, avoiding that tunnel vision thinking trap will help us with? It'll help us with our emotion regulation. Those 7 inner strengths of resilience: the impulse control, the empathy, the self-efficacy, control over our ability to succeed because we can pivot, our optimism, the view that all things will have a successful outcome because we see that there are other roads to get to that destination and other ways to do that. The causal analysis, locked in the tunnel vision, then, we are going to drill down to the root cause. And of course, if we're open-minded, reaching out does become a weakness. So tunnel vision is just one of 8 thinking traps. Thinking traps is just one skill that we need this around. And remember, some of the other thinking traps we fall into is that we jump to conclusions, mind read, where we think we know what the other person's thinking. We may minimize the positive and magnify the negative. So these are all the things that each week we tend to focus at. Over a period of time, you are more resilient. Take advantage of the zero down. You put in credit card information, and if you're doing the annual, you get 14 days free. If at $9.99 a month, it is 7 days. We need to use it free, and take advantage of the fact that we are, doing this micro chain training through these notifications to move you forward. So remember, everyone, since we spend on thinking these 50,000 thoughts a day, we must think with power and utilize power. Lines and say good night to the folks who are with us, and bring that screen up and offer for being here, folks. For Eric Wilson, one of our newer Power Thinking users, Sharon Smalls, and Carla, Gail Turner, Joan Preston, good to see you, and Leona Martin, and Al, good to see you, Bill, Greg, and Doug Sodi. Take care, everybody. One of you. All right. Take care now. Bye-bye. And with us on our platforms, we thank you so much for being with us and of what we do with Power Thinking. I think I brought up all the comments. The last comment I see here is from David Bauer. Great to be listening in. Sings David, Vision 2026 host. We appreciate you as well. So everyone, take care. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you next week, and the attempts that folks like Annie and Lisa and Jay and others are doing, and Melanie, I noticed you have events as well. So we appreciate what you do for others and be part of this movement of power thinking. I'm on board every day. We want to make this a win-win for each and every one of you. Make it a great evening, and in the case of folks who are in the UK, and a great day on Thursday for you, and we will see you next time.